Hi. Happy almost Christmas. Can't believe it's almost Christmas. Almost Christmas Eve. I hope y'all are having a great week. I hope you're slowing down today. I hope you're just taking this time to enjoy and do it in a way that feels good to you. So today I want to talk to you for a little bit about the topic of congruence, because it is one of my favorite topics. I love talking about this. I think it is a huge piece of the puzzle that not enough people are talking about, and that is keeping a lot of entrepreneurs stuck. And I think there are a lot of layers to this. So we're going to look at it in a couple different ways. So the first thing I want to talk about is that congruence can get you cash, and it can get you results with your clients, which in turn gets you cash as well, which is why I titled this Congruence Equals Cash. But I really want to start by saying that this does not mean across the board no matter what. So the reason this is coming up for me is I've had a lot of awesome feedback around the partnership, and I'm so excited for it. And then I've also had feedback that it's almost like, I want to say this in a good way. That's why I'm stumbling here. But it's almost, I've gotten some feedback that in some ways it's making people feel bad. And from a comparison standpoint, in the sense of like, oh my gosh, you're getting such great results. Wow, you get such great results. Like, this is amazing. I don't always get those great results for my clients. And people are kind of using the partnership results as like a measuring stick to compare themselves to. And so I really, really, really wanted to talk about that first. And here's what I want to say. Do my clients get great results? 100%. Did my partnership clients get great results? 100%. Do all of my clients, no matter what, 100% of the time get that level of result? No, I want to be 100% perfectly honest about that. Now, do most of my clients get results like that? Honestly, yes. I feel like that's why my business has grown, and that's why it continues to grow, is because I really am about my clients' results, and the absolute vast majority get those results. If they don't get those, they still get amazing results. But I really just want to like own that 100%, that like we have to stop deciding that we're imperfect because we see someone else sharing great results, or that like we must be a shitty coach because we don't get those results 100% of the time, every time. Like, neither do I. I didn't in therapy either. That's called life, right? If any of you knew how to get someone results no matter what 100% of the time, you would be a unicorn, and I would want to know you. But for real, like, that is not what this thing called coaching is about. That's certainly not what this thing called entrepreneurship is about, right? Like, I think, I don't even know what the latest statistic is, right? But like I think only 1 in 5 small businesses make it past their first year. I might be butchering that, but the point is, it's actually not the norm to make it. It's actually the norm to not make it. So the fact that as a coach, I'm vastly tipping the scale is what's really important to me. And again, like, all of my clients get results. They might not all look like, 15K months, and that's totally okay. That's this game of life and coaching and entrepreneurship. And I just feel such a need and calling to put that out on the table and say, yes, I'm a great coach. Yes, these are great results. And also, please, for the love of God, do not use them as a yardstick to compare yourself to. Hey, Christine, thank you. So that's like the first thing that I just want to put on the table. But here's what I want to say about getting clients results. I really believe one of the reasons that most of my clients get huge results like that is because I am so massively congruent with my message and my framework. And so what I mean by that is, like, when I say I teach mindset, strategy, and execution, I mean I eat, sleep, and breathe mindset, strategy, execution in my own business every day. So when I go to teach it, share it, coach around it, I am living and breathing that, and it is so much easier for me to help people see results from that. I have also been living and breathing that for years, right? Like, I've been studying mindset and psychology since I was like 13. I have a master's in mental health counseling. I have an MBA. I've run 2 businesses. Like, I literally live, sleep, and breathe this, right? So my congruence helps my clients get results, right? Barb says it's impossible because we're not 100% responsible for our clients' results. Their commitment, responsibility, and environment is a huge factor. Absolutely, right? Our job as a coach is to help them move through all that. And also, we're only with them for, 45 minutes a week. Like, there's 2 pieces of that. Like, I always say to my clients, I'll show up 100% and you show up 100%. It's not 50-50. It's like each 100, right? So the thing about the congruence that I want to say is that, and this might be a little triggering, so I just want to caveat this with, like, this is my perception and opinion, and, like, everything I say is through my filter. Like, it is not meant to be a judgment. It is not meant to be shameful. It is meant to be my view, right? So this might be a little triggering, but here's the thing. Some people, what happens in this space is they'll, like, read a book and then they're a mindset coach, right? Or they'll read a book and they're a copywriter. And then they're wondering why they're not getting clients, why their clients that they are getting aren't getting results, right? And it's because you're not congruent. So what I mean is, like, you read the book, but, like, have you implemented that yet? Are you living, sleeping, and breathing that? Like, is that how you're getting your own success and your own results? Because if it's not, it's gonna be fucking hard to sell it. It's also gonna be really hard to get people results around it, right? So the beauty of this industry is that there's low entry barriers, that, we're not doing what my grandfather did, which is go to the bank, take out a huge loan, and work his fucking, butt off to see that come back. The downside is that you really can just read a book and be a coach, right? And so, whatever your path is around becoming congruent, no judgment, right? Like, it's not like I'm saying, go get your MBA. Like, I don't give a fuck. But what I'm saying is, don't do that thing where you read a thing and then it's your thing, right? I think that we get the best results and it's the easiest to sell when we have, like, integrated what we're teaching, when we're congruent with what we're teaching and coaching around. So, for example, a lot of you guys know Reiki has been a big part of my life this year. I got my Reiki level 1 certification. A few months later, I got my Reiki level 2 certification, and I love it. It has my heart. I'm so into it. And also, I don't talk about it very much. I don't do it with my clients yet because it is still integrating. For me, on a personal level, I'm still going through that integration of stepping into being a Reiki practitioner, of stepping into getting myself great results around that, and then sharing that. Like, none of my clients have had Reiki from me yet. I'm going to do that at some point, and I've done that for a lot of people in my life. They've let me, experiment and learn on them. I do it for myself all the time. But it's giving yourself the patience and permission to let what you're teaching integrate, so that when you're selling it, when you're talking about it, when you're working with your clients on it, there's so much congruence for you that it's not you teaching your clients something that you're learning right alongside them, right? And here's the thing, like, I get that saying we all teach what we need to learn, and to a certain extent that's true, right? I harp on my clients about celebrating because that's a thing that I've had to work on in my life, right? But I don't harp on them about celebrating and then never do it, right? I got congruent around that, and then I started talking about it. Doesn't mean I do it perfectly, right? Doesn't mean I'm a perfect human. Doesn't mean I do mindset, strategy, and execution perfect 100% of the time. But there is massive congruence and integration around that. So what I want to say is, like, if you're seeing yourself jump from thing to thing, or you're not seeing results, or, like, you're trying to get into a new space and you haven't let it settle in for you yet, really go back to the drawing board, right? Because this thing called business and this thing called entrepreneurship, like, it really isn't for the faint of heart. Like, you have to be so integrated and so passionate about what you're doing, and that is how you get success. That is how you get results, right? When you are the walking, talking, breathing version of what you believe, and it also makes it so much easier for your clients to get results. So the other thing I'll say about that is make sure you see that in who you're hiring, right? Like, make sure they didn't, read a book last week and decide they're coaching on it today. Because honestly, that happens a lot in this space. And, no shame around that. I think it's important that when we learn something, we want to share it with our audience. But I think that this space is just moving so fast that nobody's giving themselves a chance to integrate. Nobody's giving themselves a chance to be congruent first, right? Like, I'm taking Reiki for the past year and I haven't shared about it yet. Like, I'm giving myself this space and permission to get congruent before I share. And it seems like, it's sort of like the money thing I talked about yesterday too, right? Like, wanting to go from like, no figures to 7 figures. Don't do that to yourself. Let yourself feel into, integrate with, and be the walking, talking, breathing version of what you're teaching about. And it becomes infinitely easier to do everything you want to do. Hey, Carrie, you'll like this one, I think. Okay, so make sure you're being congruent, because that will get you results with your clients. That's going to make your content easier. Make sure whoever you're hiring is, right? Ask them. Ask them, what is their experience? What is their expertise? How have they gotten this? I don't care if it was at school or, at life coach school or at the school of life. It doesn't matter. But make sure you know that about the person you're working with. Lisa, I love that you're talking about owning the realness of you as being congruent, as well as coaches sharing that we're not perfect, unflawed humans, does our client a service and is also congruent. Exactly, right? Like, so it doesn't mean I do mindset strategy execution perfect. It just means that I believe in it so much I'm living it every day as an imperfect human, right? So please, please, please make sure, because I really feel like there's just so much bullshit out there, and I say that with love, but like, you absolutely have to be sold on yourself first, right? I say that all the time. It's one of the premises of my business, of my value-centered sales course, of everything that I do. And this is how you get sold on yourself. You live, sleep, and breathe what you're teaching. You let it change you, and then you let it change others, right? So the other piece, I've been working with finding a congruent message. I'm looking forward to spending time with Jesse and Marie and their messaging mastermind. Cool. I love them. Holy hell, all of this, I couldn't agree more. Awesome. Okay, so piece 1, get congruent. Piece 2, make sure who you're hiring is congruent. Oh, Lord. What was the other thing I wanted to say about it? I forget. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Okay, I remember. So, sorry. So the other piece that I want to kind of touch on around this is just the idea of, so then like, where's the boundary there? Like, if I learn something new, do I share it with my audience? Is that supposed to be a bad thing? Like, what is that boundary? And what I want to say is just like, listen to your intuition about that, right? Like, it's not that sharing something new with your audience is bad. It's that trying to do it as an expert in that is bad. And that's what I see the difference being, right? So like, it wouldn't be bad if I was like, hey guys, I learned this new energy thing. Here's the link if you want to check it out, whatever, right? But I think the difference is, am I showing up and being like, I learned this new energy thing and now I'm doing a course around it and you can pay me $4.97 for it right here. Right? Like, you can share things that you're learning with your audience, but be very careful what you're selling first. Be very careful that it's congruent for you, right? Before you start putting money and services around it. Because here is the thing. What is going to build your business is clients getting results. Not making fast money, not filling courses really quickly, your clients getting results. It's easier to have offers that sound good rather than feel congruent. Totally, right? It's easy to have an offer where I say something like, I'll teach you how to manifest a new car. But like, are you manifesting consistently? Are you eating, sleeping, breathing that, right? Like, I just want to understand that. before I put money and services around that, right? Brilliant differentiator. Couldn't agree more. Thank you, Ashley. So, sharing with your audience, being a vehicle of knowledge is one thing. Really starting to position yourself as the expert that quickly is totally another. And that is what will kill your business, right? Bringing in clients that don't get results, that don't feel like you can help them, that you feel really stressed out about helping because you haven't quite mastered it yet. Like, it's just a bad situation, and it really doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve your clients, and it doesn't build your business. Stick to that thing that you are totally congruent with, that you're totally an expert at, and let that lead you. Everything else, let it integrate. Share with your audience what you've learned, but do not become the expert on it right off the bat. This is the very thing that burned me early on, investing in places where people weren't an expert and saying they were no bueno. Lindsay, you'll take that car. Okay, I'll keep that in mind for you. When I figure out how I can manifest a car for free, I'll keep you in mind. Yeah, Carrie, I think that's so true, right? Like, I also think there's a really big difference between can I do it for myself and can I do it for others, right? So, that's another piece of all of this, is not only does it have to be congruent for you, but you have to be able to translate that, right? Like, you have to eat, sleep, and breathe it enough that you can see how other people fit into it and how their businesses or their mindset or their whatever fit into your belief system, model, framework, whatever. That's why I talk about values between coach and client being really important, because you have to be able to translate your knowledge to someone else. And that is a skill. That is an area of expertise all on its own, right? So not only do you have to be congruent, but then you have to be able to translate that. And when you are congruent, it's 50 times easier to translate it. It's also a lot easier to just show up and talk about it, right? Like, if somebody asked me about mindset, strategy, and execution tomorrow, I could talk about it all freaking day, right? That's why it's easy for me to pump out content all the time, because it's so here, it's so congruent, and I'm good at translating it, and so that's why my clients get results. So if you're in a place where you feel like you're not selling easily, your clients aren't getting results, I really, really invite you to decide if you're coaching on something that's exciting you or that's truly congruent with you. Because here's the thing, Reiki is the example I keep using. It excites the shit out of me, and also it's not integrated enough yet for me to be a teaching expert on it, right? I don't even try to be an expert in chemistry, even though I help a lot of students. Knowing how to leverage my real expertise to diverse areas helps me coach outside of my zone of expertise. Right, like, it doesn't mean you know everything about everything. It just means you're congruent with what you're teaching and you're able to translate that, right? And I want to be clear about that. Like, nobody needs to be the perfect human. I don't know everything about strategy or everything there is to know about mindset, but I do know that that's my path, and that it feels really good to talk about it 24/7, and that I have earned the expertise around that. I have earned the integration and the congruence around that. So kind of goes with that conversation on patience yesterday too, right? Like, we're so impatient. We read a book, we learn something new, and we want to be like, and I'm telling everybody, and I'm an expert, and we don't give ourselves a chance to let it integrate, to let it become part of us, and to then teach it, right? So hope this was helpful. I hope this is also a barometer you use when you're looking to hire someone or work with someone. Are they being congruent? Are they sharing their expertise in a way that is authentic and real? And, are they just living what they're speaking, right? Like, if I was talking about content all the time and never putting out content, it would just be weird, right? I'd also add to be very clear about the results you provide for them. I'm never afraid to say, yes, I'm a business confidence coach, but I'm not the one who will take you to 10K months in 6 months. I'm here to help you move past your fears, insecurity, and lack of confidence, and ultimately start making money. Totally. Like, you get to own it in the way that feels good to you, and that's what people will respond to, right? Like, at the beginning of my business, I did mostly content coaching, and I was never like, here, just do this and you'll make 10K. I was like, you can use this content to build your audience and to leverage yourself and, whatever. But it wasn't like, here, this is what 10K looks like. And I think that's what you can start at from the beginning, right? Is like square one. What can my services do for you, and how do I be realistic about that? Love all this afternoon inspiration. Beautiful reminder to walk our talk and why that benefits us and our clients. Off to wrap some Christmas presents, something I'm not an expert in. Oh my gosh, Lisa, I feel you there. I feel like the wrapping paper won this morning. It just beat me. Excited to get more visible about how I can serve people with my expertise in engineering. Very cool. All right, so I hope you all have a good day. I hope you have a beautiful Christmas. I hope this lesson in congruence resonates with you. If it does, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Tell us where you're congruent in your business. Tell us what it means for you if you've had an experience of maybe being in a non-congruent place and how that, hurt you, or how you've come back from that, just your thoughts, right? Like, let's just open the conversation about this because it's just not happening enough. So I hope you all have a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday, and I will talk to you soon. And don't forget, applications are open for a Lit Up partnership right now. So if you haven't filled that out yet, they're due January 2nd, and you can find them at www.alituplife.com/a Lit Up partnership. So I can't wait to read yours, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.